On the third day of the Taliban's new rule came the first real show of dissent. Protesters in Jalalabad tried to take down the Taliban's flag from the main square and reinstate their own. But the insurgents cracked down and it ended in bloodshed, contradicting the group's assurances that their heavy military presence is purely for people's safety.
We are at the service of our people 24 hours a day. We will try our best to keep people happy and stop those who want to disturb or rob people.
But facing this, most Afghans don't dare protest. They're cautiously returning to life, while the new rules of the Taliban slowly unfold.
All troops are supposed to be out by August 31st. Even if Americans and our Afghan allies are still trying to get out, they're going to leave?
We're going to do everything in our power to get all Americans out and our allies out.
Does that mean troops will stay beyond August 31st if necessary?
It depends on where we are and whether we can ramp these numbers up to 5,000 to 7,000 a day coming out. If that's the case, they'll all be out.
Escorted from his home by Hong Kong police, Chris Todorovsky is one of 4 students arrested Wednesday charged with advocating terrorism. On July 1st, he was at this meeting of the University of Hong Kong's Student Union. There, participants passed a motion expressing deep sadness for the sacrifice of a man who had just stabbed a police officer before taking his own life. Amid condemnation from both the university and government, the Student Union retracted its statement and apologized. The 4 detainees, though, still face up to 10 years in prison. It's the latest application of Hong Kong's draconian national security law, imposed on the city by Beijing last year in the wake of massive pro-democracy demonstrations.
Cuba rolled out tighter controls on social media on Tuesday that target, quote, enemy activity on the internet. Decree 35 comes on the heels of the largest anti-government protests the island nation has seen in years. Cuba's president blamed last month's demonstration on an online campaign by U.S.-backed counter-revolutionaries. The new controls ban the spread of false news, content deemed offensive, or that, quote, incite mobilizations or other acts that upset public order. It also offers Cubans a form to report offenders. Decree 35 does not specify penalties for breaking the law, but said any attempts to subvert order will be considered cyber terrorism. Some analysts say the law's vague definitions would allow the government to arbitrarily prosecute Cubans it considers dissidents.
The trial for the assassination of former President of Burkina Faso, Thomas Sankara, and 12 others killed in the 1987 coup will begin on October 11 in Ouagadougou. Among the 13 defendants is Blaise Compaoré, former President of Burkina Faso. All will be tried for attack on state security, complicity in murder, and complicity in receiving a corpse. According to the military prosecutor, the hearing will be public and exceptionally moved to the banquet hall in Ouagadougou. Thomas Sankara, a Burkinabe military officer and socialist revolutionary, was murdered at the age of 37.
Vamos avanzando, compa, vamos. The Little Mermaid sculpture that's been sitting serenely in Copenhagen since 1913 has become famous around the world. But now there's a new kid on the block, and it's ruffling feathers in heritage and artistic circles, and they can include some purist, if not pedantic types. The interest group that maintains the legacy of the sculptor Edvard Eriksson is demanding the new statue in Asserhaven in northeastern Jutland be dismantled and destroyed. The reason? They say it looks too much like the original in Copenhagen. The sculptor Palle Mørch, who created the other mermaid, the one from Asserhaven, defends his work, saying it's much larger and made of different material, but the protectors of Eriksson's iconic statue in the Danish capital are having none of it.